everyone, this is Tony from Her Homestead Skills, and Mark and I just got back from doing what he terms our civic duty, and that being that we voted in our municipal elections, and we voted for three distinct groups, one of them being the mayor, and counselor, local counselor, and school trustees. And so that's done. And yes, we do vote at every opportunity, and I believe that that is the one way, although some may consider it very passive way, to have our voices heard and to make changes that we agree or don't agree with. Hopefully, the people that we elect follow through with what they say they're going to do. I mean, that is always the issue. You vote for who you believe has the best of intentions, what you believe is the right thing, and if they follow through, all good and dandy, and if they don't, well, then you get rid of them the next time around. Unfortunately, sometimes the next time around, as we can see quite plainly, they've done a tremendous amount of damage in that term. Sometimes that damage can be undone and other times it can't. But anyway, that's, it is what it is. I'm not one who calls for overthrowing the government or doing things against the law. I do believe in working within the law to achieve an end, and I believe in justice. Unfortunately, sometimes justice isn't served, maybe more often than what it is, but it is still a learning process, and I don't believe that humanity is really all that mature. We're still learning. I think that although we're not infants any longer, we're like petulant teenagers at this point, and we have much to learn on how to govern society and how to be fair to people and how to treat people with respect and honor their voices and have everyone heard without it being a crime against another one. Now, speaking of which, I did post a video yesterday that seemed to have gotten under a whole bunch of people's skin, and which is fine. Once again, I have the firm belief that everyone has a right to their opinions and to voice it, and they're free to do so. And I voiced an opinion that I believe that electric cars are the cars of the future. I did not suggest in any way, shape, or form that anyone should purchase one. I don't believe that it really is meant for this generation. Once again, it is one of those things that is new, or what we used to call bleeding edge technology, and there's a lot to be learned and a lot to be adjusted, and of course it's only the ones that can afford to pay for them today that are going to pay the price for the technology improvements that'll come in the future. That's always the way it is. The people who bought the first computers were also the ones that probably had the worst technology on the market. People who bought the first televisions were the ones that had the horrible black and white TVs that were very grainy, but eventually all of those technologies improved. At least TVs are still recognizable from what they were, more or less. It's just they've done an amazing job of getting that visual almost perfected. So almost lifelike. Okay, and sorry folks, I did not mean to imply that you should go out and buy an electric car. I won't be buying one either. But such is the case. That's just the way life goes. You may mention something and people think that you are endorsing, and I'm not endorsing anything. I think I also mentioned the fact that there's a push for humanity to eat bugs, and we all know that that's been happening. We all know that I think I did a video a while back where they fed some chips, bags of chips to school-age children without informing them of what they were eating, and after they've eaten it, asked them what it tasted like, and the kids said it was very good, and then they told them that they were eating bugs. So, of course, all with the intention of adjusting and adapting the youth to that market. They know that us older folks think it's pretty much disgusting. In respect to that, I also just recently read a commentary where they said that, oh no, it's just all those right-wing politicians and people who are touting conspiracy theorists, and they went from the very first individual who said something to it was repeated X amount of times, and then this individual picked it up and it was repeated more times, and then this other individual picked it up. And they're claiming that this company never said that they were growing crickets for human consumption, that it was just for pet food. Unfortunately, they had to retract that because the owner of the company did say that 10% of his market was for human consumption. Now, whether it actually is 10% or not, could be more, could be less, we don't know, we don't see his books, but he is admitting it. He is manufacturing these products for the human consumption as well as for pet food. And there are those that would tell you that those are not suitable for pet food either. So just because I mention it, am I encouraging people to eat crickets? I absolutely am not. I'm encouraging people to make sure that they read the content labels on any processed foods that they buy, and make sure that you know what you're getting. I still do. Okay, and I'm really sorry if people got the impression that I was supporting the use of electronic cars. I couldn't afford one anyway, and probably useless for my purposes as well as Mark's. I mean, if you know, if you followed my channel, you know that Mark and I drove through the U.S. a while back, and I think he told me that he put 6,000 miles on the car, and certainly wouldn't have been able to do that in an electric car. And it still comes down to people not really being comfortable with what they see happening in their world. And what I see with what we do, which is canning and preserving food, that's a reactionary. It's in reaction to what we're seeing. And it is something that we can do. And yes, it makes us feel better that we can do something. Unfortunately, there are things that we have no control over, and they do affect our lives in very negative ways. I really disagree with the idea of pushing a new technology on people by removing another one from them. It is one thing to get people's buy-in because it interests them, because they feel that there's some value to it, because they like the idea, but it is another one to force people into a corner and not give them a choice. So that is probably the big difference between what we did with computers and what is happening now with cars. Anyway, we are lucky in North America. We do have the ability to vote people in and vote people out. Vote people that align with our ideals and with our ideologies and with our way of thinking, or how we want to raise our children and how we want our governments to be run. We have that option. We just have to go to the polls and vote, unfortunately. While it's true that just saying no empowers you in your own life, and it allows you to turn around and say, no, I will not accept what you're trying to impose upon me. It is very healthy for people to be able to say no when they mean no. And they should not be forced to accept something just because somebody else is going to benefit from it. I want to read a line or a speech from a movie from 1976. And it is from a movie called Network. And I know that a lot of you have mentioned movies, and somebody has mentioned Soylent Green, and where they're pushing us in that direction, blah, 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 and this other movie. But anyway, this one is the one that I felt that I wanted to comment on. And the big famous line of this movie was, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. But the full speech goes on to say, I want you to get up right now, sit up, go to your windows, open them, stick your head out and yell, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore. Things have got to change, but first you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore. Then we'll figure out what to do about the depression and the inflation and the oil crisis. But first, get up, get out of your chairs, open the windows, stick your head out and yell and say it. I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore. That was from 1976, and it reflected what was going on at that time as well. And apparently this movie was supposed to be viewed as comedic, but because of, I guess, the times, it wasn't funny. It was pretty realistic. But when you think about it, 76 to now, what has changed? People are still worried about depression, recession, whatever you want to call it, inflation, and an oil crisis. Nothing has changed. And I don't know that getting mad as hell and not going to take it anymore is going to make anything change. I think it's going to take a little bit more than that. And I believe that, yes, being reactionary is okay, it's good. Canning food, stocking up, trying to protect our own interests and those of the interests of those we love and keep them alive is very important. But if things have got to change, what do you have to do to make them change? And other than voting, I certainly do not recommend anything more sinister or severe or unlawful. But yes, I think it's now you may have a chance to change a few things, and or maybe keep them going in the direction that they are, because that's what you support. That's really up to you. Anyway, I'm not mad as hell. I have voted today. Hopefully I will prevent some things from occurring here, but the big vote here will be for the federal election and not for the municipal one, and that could be soon, or it could be as late as 2025. Anyway, this is Tony from her Homestead Skills. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.